The public accounts inquiry into dirt tax kicked off this morning with testimony from an emotional and clearly distressed Tony Spollen. Mr. Spollen was head of internal audit at AIB for 5 years until 1991. Last Friday he told the committee that in the last year at the bank 53,000 non-resident accounts worth £600 million were found to be bogus. He estimated the bank could have owed £10 million in back tax for a 6-month period. Yesterday, the inquiry heard evidence from the former chief executive of AIB, Jerry Scanlon. But according to Tony Spollen, his former boss was trying to paint a picture of him as a man with a grudge who left the bank because he was being transferred against his will. Well, today there was a clip from Tony Spollen when he told the committee his testimony was interrupted. During his testimony was interrupted by Dermot Gleeson, senior counsel for AIB, who said that the matters being raised were not part of the inquiry.
Yesterday, the reason I didn't speak in this yesterday or seek to respond was I felt a little bit emotional because one reason, as you know, my wife hasn't been well. She would have been watching Mr. Scanlon on the television, and it's very hard when you're sitting there in a great deal of pain, seeing your husband being pilloried the way I was by Mr. Scanlon yesterday. I suppose what I found the cheapest shot of all was to suggest that Tony Spollen felt there was some kind of a conspiracy theory by all the management of the bank against him. Nothing could be further from the truth. I suppose in all our lives there's probably a few defining moments, and I suppose when I contrast, for me, what's terribly important in life is decency, a bit of respect for people. And when I saw last October Mr. Mulcahy coming into a forum with his more junior men and making these scurrilous remarks about me, here he was suggesting that everybody else to blame all the other blanks, blame Tony, blame everybody in sight. Contrast that with my wife when she got her cancer at the beginning of last year. She didn't blame the environment. She didn't blame anybody. She didn't blame the doctor who came and gave her the bad news. She didn't blame the person who told her of the awful treatment she was going to have to go through. She carried it with dignity. And she's sitting home probably watching this thing now. The issue, I suppose, was a failed share issue in AIB and underwriting. It went badly wrong. And rather than face the music and admit it, the bank had been left with an underwriting stick. What happened was the shares were put into the widows and orphans accounts, into the staff pension fund accounts. The whole thing, the stock exchange was never informed. I went, excuse me, I didn't interrupt anybody else.
I don't wish to add at all to Mr. Spollen's distress. I really don't, and I can see that he is distressed, and I certainly don't wish to interfere with any rights of speech that he may have here. But it is my duty, unhappily at the moment, because of the distress which he's in, to draw to your attention that the matters upon which he is now elaborating are matters upon which I have no instruction. I don't know what it's about. It doesn't seem, on the face of it, to be within the terms of reference of the committee, and it would seem that if he believes these matters are within the terms of reference, that he should perhaps consult with your legal advisors or give you some intimation of what's in question.
I think it is important that we do stay within the terms of reference of this inquiry. Obviously, it's only fair that we give people a reasonable opportunity to make their point. If you wish to make a further statement later on, we'd be happy to undertake that.
Yeah. No, all I want to say is, you could sense probably from yesterday's meeting that the relationship between Mr. Scanlon, who I'd say was a good chief executive, was a little bit fraught, and there's no doubt about that. Having said that, it all arose because one time he wanted me to change an audit report, which I refused.
No, we shouldn't go into that today. Again, if that is something that you'd like to consult, yeah, on that point, because we can't rule as to whether it's relevant or not, that you may wish to consult privately with our legal advisors, and then we can allow you another opportunity to make a statement.
Chairman, can I just say, I'm sorry, thank you for giving, I'm terribly sorry to have had to say what I've had to say. It really was, okay. I sat up all night thinking about it last night, and were it not for, I tried to behave decently, and when I saw Mr. Scanlon's performance yesterday, it was just the straw that broke the camel's back.
Okay.